A Kansas veteran dies in hospice care following her battle with stage 3 cervical cancer. Last month, we shared the story of Loriana Robles, a veteran who served in the Air National Guard. Her family reached out to Fact Finder after the VA denied her benefits. Robles was able to get her benefits approved, but died last night. Her husband says while Robles continued to fight, rounds of chemotherapy and surgery were overwhelming. Her family plans to hold a funeral for her in Wichita.